Okay, it's me again, and I am having another thought about manifestation and about the ways that our minds block us, or our beliefs block us from our highest and best. So, the last video I was speaking about how brown folks believe that they are poor, and that there's scarcity. And so the first thing that I thought was like, what would be the rebuttal? Like, if I was in this discussion with someone live, like, what would be the rebuttal? Especially as a world traveler. And 90% of the time when I'm traveling the world, if I see folks who are in despair, they're often the darkest people, right? So I'm not talking about going to visit West Africa, okay? we we know West Africa been had money, okay? Like, got it. Oil money, resources, all of those things, right? So say you are I just finished living in Dominican Republic, where lighter skinned folks are the head of government, and then the darker skinned folks literally live in just four walls with a top, right? And so you're like, Shayna, like, how you gonna tell me these people not poor? Like, you go all over the world and you see that the poorest folks are brown. It's because the poorest folks have been stolen from. It's because the brown folks have built every single nation that thrives, and they have been stolen from, right? So if I'm building a house and now someone says, okay, this is my house now, this is my land now, yes, you built it, yes, you had the genius to make sure that it had air conditioning and make sure that it had running water on the inside, and make sure it had plumbing, to make sure it has a fireplace, right? All of those things you were able to architect and you were able to design for all the comfort of humanity, right? And then someone's like, yeah, thanks, that's mine, and beats the shit out of you. Right? You're not going to keep going back in the house. You're going to be like, okay, fine. Let me go somewhere else and build this house someplace else. Right? That's what's been happening to brown people. They're not broke. They're not poor. They're none of those things. They have been brutally, psychologically, physically, spiritually, financially raped. I use the word. I'm not going to put a disclaimer in none of this. It is what it is, right? So if and when we get to a place where we really understand what autonomy really means, what connection with source really means, what it looks like to work outside of the system, that means that we're no longer believing that we are poor and disparaged and ignorant. We know, have knowledge of self, and then we are able to tap into that innate spirit that is within us and create whatever we want, because we've already been creating whatever we want. There's literally no limit. Whatever it is that you think, you can create. Your house was just a thought first. The roads that you ride on was just someone's thought first. An airplane was just someone's thought first, right? They were all just thoughts. And the thoughts then became things that made it more comfortable for us to go from continent to continent, to ride to our grandma's house, to live inside of our homes and have a bed. All those things started with a thought first. And so this is the reason that manifestation takes healing, because you have to get it out of your nervous system. You have to get it out of your mind's eye that you have limits, right? And that the visions that spirit is giving you to create in your life somehow can't be created. They're not giving them to you for no reason. It's literally the blueprint. But if you're too busy distracted and you're too busy thinking old thoughts that don't make any sense, if you're still running off the same paradigm of the old system that is seeking to destroy you, you're going to end up in the same rotating situation. It's the same thing in relationships, right? You see a person who dates an alcoholic and then they just keep dating alcoholics. And you're like, why? Well, when they were little kids, that's what felt normal, right? Their parent was an alcoholic, or there was some type of codependency there that they understand that, and that that makes sense to them. So although it may hurt, it's a hurt that's been embedded for such a long time that they don't even know how to break that cycle, and they become a mirror image of that 6 or 7 year old. What the circle teaches you is to take the steps to keep your vision focused and then begin to move your whole life in a certain way and to begin to make choices so that you are able to bring in exactly what it is that you want beyond your conditioning, right? Beyond what happened to you when you were 7 years old, or what happened to you when you were 14 years old, or whatever happened to you 2 weeks ago. That shit is done. It is over. And so now you have to begin to make new choices. And that takes support, that takes somatic healing, that takes therapy, that takes community for you to become a new version of yourself so that you can step into a new reality. But it doesn't have to take a long time, right? It doesn't have to take years, right? And that's what becomes so startling, is because when you do the steps and then you step into this new reality, you really don't even know how to behave. Like, you're really like, for real? How? Right? And you may backslide back into your old ways of being. And so that's why the community is there, and I'm there to support you in this new reality so that when you step into it, you will know that you have the support system there to continue to go forward. Right? Because everybody in the circle is going to know you for who you are becoming and not what you were. And they're here to support you and continue to up level you. This is next level. My first free 21 days of abundance was like an introduction. So if you want to know more about that, then that is already out there on YouTube. You can do that anytime that you want. I'm sure I will have another free one before the end of the year comes. But this one is a whole entire season. You know what I mean? We're talking about 10 full weeks of you manifesting your new reality and then living in that reality so that when fall comes, you are literally falling in love with your life. So join me on the masterclass. It is Sunday, the ninth, Saturday, the 19th at 10 a.m. There will be a replay, but the replay will be private. It won't just be replayed publicly anywhere. It'll be sent to those who register. And during that masterclass is when I will tell you about the 10-week intensive. If you already have my number and we're in contact, you can ask me for the details anytime you want, and I will text them to you. See you soon.